Hey everybody, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we are going to be launching a couple of parts for the space station. I ended up deciding upon using the Dragon pod, the 7-man pod, this one here, as our escape pod. I actually designed an escape pod. It's pretty simple. It's just that with 3 parachutes and 2 solar panels so that it can stay up in orbit for a little bit if it needs to. I've already built a launch vehicle for the module that is going to be attached to the space station. We're going to have to do 3 launches to get this done though, because each of these pods is too heavy. I don't really want to launch them at once, so we're going to do it in a separate way. So if we go to module 4 here, Module 4 is just my standard medium launcher for the space station. It's got this science module here, the Kerbal Science Foundation module, and one of these Harmony or Carmony modules, whatever it's called, with 4 docking ports, and there's a docking port on each end of this thing. Basically, one of the escape pods is going to dock on either side, and then we have a spot for the tugboat to dock permanently here, and we also have a spot for a communications array to go in. Since I have the remote tech mod, I want to get that, this is a relay. The space station is a relay. Looking here, we have everything we need, it looks like, and I already double checked. It looks like all the staging is going to work, right? So I think we can go ahead and get this thing up in orbit. Now I also installed a docking module, a docking camera mod that will allow me to actually see how the docking ports are aligned. It's going to make life a lot easier when we're actually docking stuff up there. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're going to set this thing to, yeah, that orbit seems fine because the tug won't have too much trouble coming down to get to it. We can turn on the auto warp, limit everything. Alright, that looks good. Now this is a standard launcher, so I don't really anticipate any problems here, so unless something goes awry, I'll see you guys up at the rendezvous. Oh yeah, I should mention I uninstalled the FAR mod because I was just having too many issues with the FAR mod. I was not enjoying that thing interacting with everything. There aren't enough parts like fairings and stuff like that right now where that thing's even practical in my opinion. I wanted to make space planes function like they should. Lift doesn't work anything like how actual lift in the real world works in this game right now, but it was too much trouble to deal with that crap, so I uninstalled it, which is a really horrible process, I might add. You have to, since it modifies so many files, you have to restore from a backup, which fortunately I did have a backup copy of the original files, because I back up a lot due to the fact that I install a lot of mods, which is a good practice. So just keep that in mind. That mod is kind of crazy. I don't know. I've seen other people use it with success, but for whatever reason it didn't get along with me, and I'm just not going to deal with that right now. There's enough complicated stuff going on. Alright, so we have arrived at the target. Just going through our docking procedure here. I'm going to let MechJeb handle this, of course, because I don't like docking very much. Now, let's watch from in here. Actually, let's not, because I can't see anything. Come on, get this under control, man. Fortunately, like always, for some reason, we ended up on the dark side of the planet. It seems like I always end up rendezvousing on the dark side of the planet. I don't know why that happens, but it does. Now, I can't tell what alignment I want to be on here. I don't think it particularly matters that much. We'll fix it when we get to the space station. I installed the docking cam, which helps a lot with this. I'm going to get some sort of squared off alignment going if I can, I guess. I'm not really going to worry about using the docking cam for this, though, because I can't really see well enough at this distance. Oh, what the heck, we'll use the docking cam just because it's cool. Try to get some... I can't see a darn thing. What is going on? What am I looking at? That's got to be the module, right? What exactly are we looking at here? I can't see the docking port. Or anything, really. Hmm. That's interesting. Well, I guess we can eyeball it from... I think the ship needs to be turned more like that. It doesn't matter that much because when we get to the actual docking with the station, it will be more clear because we'll be using the docking port on the far side of this, so it'll actually be a lot easier to figure out. But this is kind of crazy. Yeah, I can't see any detail with that. I don't know if it's the lights that are just washing it out or what, but that's weird. The docking cam usually is a lot better than that. Huh. Well, that's obviously not really helping. Let's get rid of that then. I think we're pretty close to being aligned right anyway. Like I said, it doesn't really matter as long as we have the docking port square which one is up, because they're all the same. This module is pretty symmetrical. I guess there's a window on the space on the science lab that I'll probably want to arrange a certain way though, isn't there? I don't know where that window is. We'll wait to figure that out until we get over to the light side. What does this look like from in here? Pretty cool. I love this cockpit so much. Look at that. That is sweet. That is very sweet. Alright, and docking complete. So, we can do some fuel transferring. How are we doing for fuel? We don't need that much, but I'll take it. Fuel is fuel. Keep this thing topped off. Everybody's happy. There is no RCS on this due to an oversight on my part. I should have brought up more RCS fuel, but I didn't. Alright, so that's good to go. Now we should be able to decouple the node. Nice. And back away nice and easy. Cool beans, we got this. Now, before this thing runs out of power, let's go ahead and deorbit, because it doesn't have that much power on board. It's really kind of chugging through the power too, so limited time. Whoa ho ho! Now its engines are firing, so no matter what happens, I think it's deorbiting now. Even if it runs out of power, but it charged itself back up because the engines are running anyway. And collision course. That's probably going to almost hit the Kerbal Space Center. That'd be ironic if I could hit the Kerbal Space Center with a random piece of debris, but not with stuff that I'm actually trying to land. Alright, well, I'm going to go back over to the space station. I'll meet you guys there. Alright, we have arrived at the space station. As you can see, I've given it a name now. We're going to call it Progress Station. I'm setting my target for that, hopefully the right docking port. We will control from here. Also going to activate... I can't activate the docking camera for some reason. That's annoying. Let's go ahead and turn on the docking autopilot. Now hopefully we'll be swung around to vaguely the right area here. Now where is that window? The window is on the upside right now, which... the window doesn't really matter that much, I suppose, but for some reason I want it to face Kerbal. I guess, like, it's just going to be facing Kerbal now, obviously, because the space station goes around the planet, and it will be facing space the other side, but I want it to be oriented on the Kerbal plane, if that makes sense. Now, why is the docking camera not working? Is it because I closed out? I bet I have to go back to the Space Center to get this thing working. That's annoying. That is very annoying. I don't really want to go back to the Space Center right now. So we'll just do this the old-fashioned way. If I have to, I'll undock it and fix it, but that looks... I think I got the ship pretty close. So as long as I get the ship oriented right, it should work. One would think. Definitely gonna look a little more space station-y now. More modules are always helpful for that. So there's only a few more parts left for this. I need to put my docking array in. I need to put the fuel depot in. The fuel depot is going to take about 4 launches in and of itself. So there's 2 more launches for the escape pods, then 1 more for the docking array, and then probably 4 in all for the fuel. So that's still quite a few launches, but we're getting there. I, as you see, retracted all the solar panels. I think I mentioned that, just so that we don't accidentally have a mishap here. We don't need mishaps. Come on. This thing needs a little bit more RCS to get this stoppage done. Come on, stop, stop, stop. Stop, stop, stop. If you come in at an angle, it's always a little bit dicey getting the docking completed. Hopefully the wiggling will stop at some point soon. I'm not real excited about the wiggling that's going on. Now this science module, like I said, really doesn't have that much of a point. It just says funny things. We'll activate it when we get over there, but I kind of like having it. It looks cool. And we can just imagine that they're doing some sort of research on this station. That looks fairly squared off, doesn't it? I think that's good. I really wish the docking camera was working. Then I know it was squared off, but whatever. Wants to act that way, he can act that way. This wiggling has got to end. There we go. Well, it just came right back. I've thought about using the quantum strut mod, but that kind of seems like a little too science fiction-y for me. I'd prefer this to be like more like what would be possible today, like if we put more money into the space program. Obviously we don't have like tugboats and stuff like this, but it's not like technically impossible that we would have something like this. It's just rockets and what have you. Quantum strut seems just a little out there for me. Although they do seem immensely useful. And it's not that much to figure, I guess, that, like, you know, maybe they would have cables that they could attach or something, but I do have the Kerbal attachment system. Alright, the docking is going to happen. Yay! Let's shut down those engines so nothing unfortunate ends up happening. Hit the time warp to stop the sway. Alrighty, more space station-ness has happened. So we should probably unfurl these solar panels with relatively little danger at this point again. Now, are those going to clear what I hoped that they're going to clear? I'm trying to make sure. I'm going to be putting a communications array right up here, and it looks like that will clear. It's going to be too close to dock the tugboat down underneath, though. If I look how close these solar panels are going to be, it's going to be too darn close. So that's a shame. I'll have to put some sort of special docking port in for it or something. Alright, let's go ahead and save real quick. Also, let's open up the window shutter. Now, this window really does nothing. It's just a window. But if you say do science, it's warming up the reactors, and if we click on it, it's doing a 0G wig attachment. It's trampoline research going on in there. So, yeah, that pretty much gives you an idea, and they're playing human space program. That's kind of funny. But that's more space station-y. So, let me see, how much clearance do we actually have? The Dragon capsules aren't going to fit underneath either, so we are going to have to put them on the sides like I thought. But that'll work. I am pleased with that. That will be just fine. And it does look a lot more space station-y now. Getting some serious bulk up on this thing. So I think we need to go back to the Kerbal Space Center. And we need to do a little bit of work here. So let's load up the escape pod module. Alright, and we'll put that in the sub-assembly loader real quick. And let's load space station module. It's probably one. Well, actually, let's use the resupply. The resupply ship will work well for this, I think. Where are you? Yeah, there we go. Alright, so this thing is actually crude, though. So, how do I want to do this? I think what we'll do is I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to make some changes to this. Alright, so this is what we got. I think this will work out. I added some solar panels and a battery so that will have a little bit better longevity. So we won't have to be quite so panicked about deorbiting that. And I'm going to try to send this up with this as well, I think. It's pretty light. It shouldn't be too much of a problem, but I am going to go ahead and strut it quite a bit just to be sure. So we'll put a strut from... Actually, let's fix this real quick because it's going to be all screwed up. Come on, grab... No, grab the strut. Just the strut, please. Oh, God. Why would you do this to me? Let's just undo that. Because it's being stupid. And try again. Let's put on... The strut is still there. Why is the strut still there? I said undo. What the hell, man? Let's try zooming down like this. And kind of... I think we have to clip just a little bit here. I can't grab that. I cannot for the life of me grab that. Let's just reload. Don't know why that's being so stupid. Alright. Whatever. Want to act that way, you can act that way. Okay, and... What are we doing? We're doing this. 4 times symmetry. And we'll just go up like that. That ought to be stable enough, I would think. Hopefully the dishes don't get torn off while we're lifting off too. I don't really know. Let's go like that. And it's kind of stupid, but it ought to work. And hopefully this is enough fuel. This is a fairly heavy rocket. I actually should probably add some solid rocket boosters to it, shouldn't I? These are from that other pack that we're going to be messing around with, the Deorbiting space shuttle, but we're not doing that right now. Let's put 2 on. And where's the regular booster? Darn it. Why do you have to be like this sometimes, game? I swear. You know what? We'll call it good. Whatever. See how this goes. If we need more rocket power, we'll get more rocket power. But for now, it's good enough for me. Go ahead and update the save. That dragon pod is pretty darn heavy. So I am a little bit concerned about that, but it looks pretty cool. Look at that. That looks pretty cool on the launch pad, doesn't it? Well, let's do a 220 because this is actually going to be directly rendezvousing with the station. And engage the autopilot. Stop at stage 2. What the heck is going on here? I think my staging might be a little screwed up. Let's go fix that in the hangar because it's going to be easier to figure out rather than trying to do it on the launch pad. My staging doesn't look quite right. Alright, so all of that looks good. The decoupling there looks good. Why would you do that? I didn't want you to move. One of those is messed up now, isn't it? Undo. Alright, I think that fixed it. Anyway, we want this decoupler down here. And that's really where it's going to be ending anyway. I'll figure out the rest of the stuff on my own. So we want to stop at stage 3. Why would you come back, docking autopilot? I don't want you. 220, that's probably fine. Stop at stage 3. Auto warp on. Everything looks good. Engage. Fingers crossed. That is a slow liftoff, but it's a liftoff. Well, I guess we'll just have to see how much fuel is left when we get to orbit. It looks pretty good. Like, it's nice and stable and stuff, so... Alright, well, orbit has been... Well, it's not been achieved yet, but we're going to go ahead and circularize this orbit. That went pretty well. There's a full tank of fuel, so I don't think it's going to be a problem to rendezvous at all. I'm trying to decide how I'm going to actually handle this once we get up there. Because of this communications array. I think what we'll do is... probably just undock the communications array. Leave it adrift. Have the tug... We'll dock this thing. Have the tug pick that up. That makes the most sense to me. Alright, so I'll catch you at the rendezvous. Alright, well, we are definitely getting some of the chugging from the parts count already, so that's a little unfortunate. But I've decided what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to drop this off just on the back of the tug. We'll have to turn this way. Don't collide. Why are you getting so close? It should fit in there. So we'll go ahead and drop this thing off on the back of the tug, and then we can dock the pod on the side of the station right there, and then the tug can back out and put the thing where it's going to go. That ought to work. That makes sense to me. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Let's just turn on the fine controls and give it a little bit of a turn. Straighter I make it, the easier it'll be. Although I think the docking camera will probably work now that we've been back to the Space Center. Alright, so we are good to go. Let's shut down the engine just so there's no mistakes. So I should be able to, at this point, just undock and swing back around here. Now let's go ahead and retract these panels so there's room to maneuver. And we'll go ahead and undock. Where do I undock from? Decouple node. Hopefully that worked. Seems to have worked. RCS is back on. And maybe it's not. Why? Do I have... I do not have any control. Why do I not have control? There we go. I have control now. I don't know what that was about. That was weird. Let's go ahead and... Oh man, I don't know if there's going to be a docking camera on this one. Control from here. And we're going to dock there. So let's pitch the node. No, that's the wrong way. Controls are... Oh, dear God. Get this under control. Yeah, my controls are all a little bit screwy right now. Let's pitch over so that it makes more sense. Get under control, ship. Alright, and that's the wrong one. We want this direction. Get Now, is there a docking camera on this docking port? I seriously doubt it. Oh my God, we're gonna crash into it. Holy crap, that's close. Mech jab, mech jab, mech jab. That was really my fault. I came in at a crazy angle, but still a little bit worrying. Is there a docking camera? I don't think so. That menu is just too long. That's another problem with this pod. Well, we'll do the best we can just looking at the solar panels, because those should be pretty straight. Alright, that looks fine. That looks just fine and dandy, although I used the wrong docking port, didn't I? I did. I wanted to be on this docking port. Well, darn it. Well, let's fix it. I was not paying attention. I was getting all panicky. More than anything. That's what I get for getting panicky. Oh well, let's nudge ourselves away. I said let's nudge ourselves away. We will set that docking port as our target and try to flip-flop over. I don't like being this close to the station, to be honest. In fact, I'm going to get further away just so we have a little more room to play here. Because I don't need a collision. It's basically the long and the short of it. Come on, get under control here, ship. You're being a little bit crazy. Alright, that looks like a good amount of distance here. And auto dock enabled. Did I set the right target? Yes, I did. It's going to be a little bit harder to straighten out just because the solar panels are arranged funny at this angle, but we'll do what we can. Right, that looks pretty close. I think we'll call that pretty good. It seems like I'm just making things worse. I'm just trying to tap it ever so lightly, but it does not want to cooperate. There, we'll call that good. It keeps screwing it up a little bit. Now that looks good. Just don't screw it up. How far away is this now? Not very. And magnets. No, we're still pretty far away. Magnets should be kicking in now, though. There we go. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, well, let's transfer out the RCS. I'm getting 9 frames a second right now. The station's not even close to being done. This does not bode well for the future. I am going to transfer this into this. And then we can decouple and deorbit this thing, and then I gotta go launch another one. Alright, now these are gonna get restowed because I don't want them breaking off in case there ever were an emergency. That's why I went with the armored ones too. Well, not armored, but you know what I mean, the whatever you want to call it. Alright, so that's all packed up and neat. Now I should be able to decouple this thing now. Fingers crossed. Alright, now I don't have any RCS left in this, but it really doesn't need it. I'm just going to burn towards the planet first to get away from the station here. Did I just lose control? No. Why can I not act? There it goes. It's like I could not activate the SAS, but now I can. Alright, good enough, I think. Now we can turn back retrograde. Slow it down, slow it down. Goodbye. Alright, now that's doing its thing down there. We can get back to the station. Now, this is going to require some finesse here. What we got to do is undock from the station, back this thing up. How square are we there? It's a little bit off, but I think the docking cameras will be working now. So let's go ahead and decouple. Switch over to the tug. We're going to control from here. Now turn on the RCS and back away. That's the wrong way because the controls are reversed. Or what? Yeah, there we go. Set this bad boy as our target here. Now we can kind of just... Oh, this is so confusing. This is incredibly, incredibly confusing. So we're going to orient this way. Alright, and we probably call that good enough. Now we just need to get a little altitude here. Holy crap, this is really confusing controlling from this docking node. If you don't put your docking ports on all in the same way, it gets really, really, really confusing, I gotta say. Oh man, we're going on the dark side of the planet. That's not an encouraging thing. That's probably good enough. Now, is there a camera functioning on this thing? Yes, there is. Cool. Although, again, I can't see a darn thing. I guess it's because we're looking at space right now. It'll probably get better in a second here. Let's do a little twisty twist. Yeah, it's impossible to see very well which way I'm aligned, but the docking camera is working, so it doesn't really matter. I was gonna say, like, it is super dark down there. But this X makes things so much easier. I fixed the solar panels on the station this way. They're pretty straight now. I'm sure they're not 100% straight, but it's good enough for government work, so to speak. Yeah, this docking camera, I'm sure the guy, Romfair or whatever his name is, who made it, he actually works for Squad now. They hired him because of his, he did the robotic arm and he did this docking camera, the laser system. A lot of pretty cool stuff. I have a feeling I would really not be surprised if this ended up being integrated into the game, because docking cameras are something that's, you know, they exist in real life and all that. It seems pretty reasonable to put a docking camera in to the game. I just wish that, I mean, I understand why the image quality is kind of crappy. They did that on purpose. There's a lot of filters and stuff going on here. I wish the quality was a little bit better because it's a little hard to tell what you're doing. But we should have contact in a second here. there we go. Nice. Let's time warp to stop the rotation. And I'm just going to leave the ship parked here for... Well, I'd kind of like to move it so I could... I should actually try to see if the solar panels can open all the way. I guess we could test with this one. I'm a little nervous about doing this, though. Because if it does not work out, we're probably going to bust the solar panel here. Do they stop before they hit that? Yes, they do. That distance will work out just fine, actually. How does that look? It looks space station-y. So, all we got to do now is get another one of these up here, and we'll be done for today. So I'm going to do that off camera because it's going to be just the exact same lengthy, horrible process again. That one's not going to have any communications array on it, though. I'm not going to put one on down there. Yeah, I'm just going to end the episode here. I'll take care of that off camera, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks a lot for watching.